It is the summertime, it's hot. If the bite is sluggish for you, one thing you need to do is just slow down and throw the football jig, guys. The football jig is an excellent lure for the summertime, definitely on those days where the bite is just slow, and then that tells you need to slow down and throw the jig. Guys, we're gonna talk about fishing a jig in the summer. We're gonna talk about areas, talking about how to fish the jig, a couple different football jigs and trailers, go a little bit in depth on it, guys.
Got him. Good fish again. Stay down. The offshore jig. He is mad at the world. Y'all, this right here, how I was fishing that so slow. Right there. Another one. That one on the offshore jig. Boom. That's a dang hoss.
Appreciate you coming out to the Fishing Coach YouTube channel. I'm Coach E. My real name is Jimmy Eastring. I go by Coach, guys. Thank you for joining along for today's video, guys. And we're going to talk about the jig. On a couple of my recent trips, on my on-the-water lessons, we have had a slower bite. So when I do these on-the-water lesson, guys, they're typically offshore forward-facing sonar trips. And there have been times lately where the jig has came into play. We go through a bunch of variety of techniques and a variety of different offshore tactics. But guys, lately, the jig has came out, and I've caught a lot of fish with a jig in the summer offshore. Traditionally, I like to throw them around rock, I like to throw them on brush piles, but guys, there's more places to throw the jig. But let's talk about why the jig is such a successful lure in the summer. And guys, I've talked to people that before, not just the advanced anglers, beginning anglers to the advanced. There's some people that just do not have confidence in the jig. And a lot of it is because I think they do not understand the whole part of having the bottom contact or filling the piece of cover. Guys, this isn't just a bottom lure, as in fishing the bottom, as we typically do. Your rock spots, your brush piles, as I'm going to talk about. But guys, you can fish these in trees and fish them in grass as well. When you're fishing them in trees, the whole thing's about filling the trees. So when you throw them out there in trees, and guys, when I say trees, they're standing timber of trees, let's say 20 to 30 foot below the surface, 10 to 15 foot below the surface. Your boat can be in 30, those trees can be at 10 foot below the surface. And when you throw them out there, it's all about filling the trees. When you're coming around that limb, clicking your line, letting it go down, bringing it up, okay? A lot of those bites at times can be on the fall. A lot of those bites can be when you're bringing it up and you're hitting that piece of cover. So that's one thing about it is filling your cover. That's a big thing about the jig, is filling the cover, having the right size of the jig. I like typically a heavy jig, 1/2 ounce to 3/4 ounce, but there's times you need to go lighter, as on a couple trips I've been recently where some of my guys with me have gone to a lighter jig. Guys, in the clear water, if you have a lake that's rocky, crawfish is a big population. We had a trip recently on Table Rock where we're fishing the clear water, and guys, those smallmouth like to eat crawfish, and in that clear water they're going to be glued to the bottom of them rocks, and a great way to target them is with a jig. And one thing with it though, guys, is you got to slow down, and that's hard for me. Even just, you can tell watching the video, talking to me, you're probably like, Jimmy, chill, you know. And that's what's hard with me about fishing a jig. Before forward-facing sonar, not offshore fish, I could slow down. But now that I get to see those dudes and they're there, it's hard for me just to throw and slow. And that's one thing, guys, about fishing a jig, if you have forward facing or not, is we're gonna get to the footage here in a minute. I'm gonna go out there on my chest footage, try to get this thing hooked up, is just slow down. Once you see them there, throw your lure out there, let the jig get to the bottom, or drag it, reel it slow, just slow down. Because guys, there's time they're going to eat and they're going to want your reaction baits, they're going to want your moving baits. But guys, there's a lot of times still they're sluggish in the summer. It just is what it is. That's why a big worm comes into play. That's why your finesse tactics come into play. So guys, with that, it's okay to slow down. That's why I got to tell myself when fishing a jig is like, hey, just chill, calm down. So guys, areas I like to fish rock mainly in it. Like rock could be a road bed, rock could be a rock pile or a rocky point. I'm not talking like on the bank, I'm talking off of the bank, okay? I'm not fishing the bank with a jig, all right? I'm talking off of the bank. Brush piles is an easy one. And guys, when I'm fishing a jig in a brush pile, if I don't get bit like 3 to 5 casts after I go through it slow, I'm moving on, or I'm trying another lure. So same thing with y'all. Now, so areas like that, humps, flats, near deep water for the summer, okay? Cover, you're going to be in cover, okay? That's the thing, you want to feel that cover. One thing about it, we're going to get to in a minute, is clicking your reel handle, letting this go to the bottom, pulling your line out, making sure you can feel it. Okay, guys, we're gonna talk about some of these jigs here in a second. This right here is a V&M Flatline Football Series jig. I love this jig right here. It's a part of the Pacemaker series. I actually got a different trailer on this one, or I say different trailer. I throw a variety of trailers. We're about to talk about that in a minute. This is the Wild Thing trailer, okay? The Wild Thing Junior by V&M, okay? So Wild Thing Junior. One thing, guys, I'm gonna share before I get into these next couple jigs. This little juicy jig right here, I'm gonna talk about in here in a second. I offer one-on-one virtual lessons online. It's a Google Meet lesson. If you're interested, send me a message on my Jimmy Eastring Fishing Facebook page. I can talk and help you about talking fishing techniques, breaking down your lake. It's specifically what I do. Or if you want to talk about fishing in general, any questions you have, guys, send me a message. Once again, it's typically for it is for your lake, but it can be for anything. We can talk anything. It's an hour one-on-one meet. Guys, talk about this jig. This is a one, and the reguard's all kind of messed up. I have to kind of break this thing back out. This jig's probably 6 or 7 years old, and I hadn't thrown it because I don't have many of them left because I like them, and I just hadn't thrown them as much. And like I say, I like them. I haven't bought any in a long time, but I really do like these jigs, and it's kind of like if I fish in a tournament, I'll probably pull this thing out. It's JP Customs Bait, Jared Pridmore's jigs. He's out of North Central Arkansas. I haven't talked to Jared in a long time. This is a Brewer Magic Color. This man used to be my color. I somehow got on this before. I think he got famous. I thought I threw this color in another jig, and then he started making them. Loved it, okay? Pretty cool jig there. Another couple type of jigs. Y'all know I love the Fish the Moment offshore jig. Johnny Schultz Schultz jig that he made with Joel Bates. Has the wire weed guard, a couple different strands there. Has the rubber, the old school rubber with your typical strands. This one here has a the Craw Gill by Toe Thumpers on it. Another jig here that's a little different. This is the Strike King mop jig. It has that little stand-up head, but it has that different strands as well. I like to have different type of strands. And also, guys, I can throw structure jigs in the summer as well. So your structure jigs, this right here is the hybrid jig by 6 Cents. I like this one because I can swim it, and I have a little freeloader on there. We'll talk about that some other day. And then here is the V&M baits. This is actually a flipping jig, but I like fishing this in cover as well and swimming it as well when I'm fishing it around that cover, like standing timber, your brush piles, or your grass as well. So guys, let's go on the water and talk more about fishing the jig, and hopefully I get my forward-facing sonar footage for you guys so we can go over it. Okay, here we go, guys. Got a brush pile right here, a little close to it, but I just kind of wanted to see y'all can see. The only reason I picked this brush pile is due to the wind. There's no wind right here, so y'all can hear me talk. So guys, look, I just threw my jig out. Now there are fish in this brush pile. Okay, look, there goes one following it down there right now. Now the big thing about this is now, like, there's two ways to do about it. You can either just start fishing, okay, and just start fishing and not even worry about looking at this, or you can then look up and then just try to keep yourself off. See, I don't have a spot-lock trolling motor, and guys, so I'm you know, one thing you can do is spot lock. I don't have a spot lock trolling motor, but the big thing is you just know that you're in the cover, and I'm on the bottom. That fish is interested. He's down there right now, following that thing around, and so that's just the biggest thing is so now it's a deal of I'm going around that limb right now. Now it is though is, I mean, that thing good. It's up there right now. I'm actually in that thing, but now it's just a thing of, you know, do I need to let this thing sit, or do I need to swim it? Okay, or I say swim, like swim on the bottom, or you're like me right now and you might be kind of getting hung in this thing. Okay, there I got my jig. Okay, we're back. Went up there and got my jig, and it's up there under the deal, and I got on top and it came right out. But very unfortunate for first cast that happened. But guys, you see there's fish up there, and that's one of the big things is just kind of reading the fish, you know, and with this, you know, and then one thing too, you don't gotta throw like right in. You can fish this thing around it. So I'm here. This is 16-pound test. So that time I wanted to throw in front of the pile just to see if any fish right there would come out. So you see some fish there. You see some, like, they're coming out right now, checking it out. And just kind of know, like, am I gonna have to let this thing sit there, or, but I know I'm around fish right now. So do I want to let that thing sit there? Do I want to reel, you know, swim on the bottom? Like I said, I had that one fish kind of come out there right there and look at it. But one thing just about it though is just being patient. And I don't like watching it though. I just kind of like fishing this thing old school, knowing that I'm in the cover though is the biggest thing. Okay, so and so there we go. We're gonna get right there on those dudes. Let's see what happens. I want to drop it right there on them. You know, now guys, I'm using a 7.2 medium heavy, I believe here. 7.2 medium heavy. 7.3 is always what I've used. I've used even up to 7.6 before.
This is that Level Performance Series rods, guys. I'm with Level now. Love these rods, man. They're light, very sensitive. I am impressed. There's a link down there in the description. You want to go check them out, man. Hank Cherry, Bassmaster Collector Hank Cherry's using them. So if he's using them, they're pretty good then. And so there are some fish up there high up in that tree. But guys, so just with this, guys, fishing the jig mainly is just you know, knowing you're in the cover. One thing too, guys, as you see, is I like to put my finger right there. Okay, I see a lot of guys that don't. Then you miss your bite detection. Well, there's some chasing it right there. Look, there's some right there chasing. The wind's blowing me up. The wind just came here. The wind was blowing this direction. Now it's blowing me this way. Back off real quick. Okay, guys, here we are right here. We're back. I kind of got a little distracted there. Saw some school in action. I was gonna go chase him down, and I was like, I gotta make this video, so I'm gonna try this real quick. There's my jig. Okay, y'all see my jig. Oop, there goes all that bait fish, brim, whatever. Here we go. I'm just gonna swim this thing right above that and see if one wants to come out. Nope. Oh, look, we got one chasing it. See that one chasing it, guys? See that one behind it? See, he just didn't want to come up there and commit. But what I just did there, guys, is just a way. That's a good fish there. Y'all see that one right there? He's right there swimming. Now, that's a way you might be able to entice a big bite. Just by swimming this dude. Okay? Just kind of show a little juice there, maybe. Right? Maybe. See here. There's a time of day, you know, it's going to be there. That fish don't care for it. I'm just going to reel this thing. And sometimes you might not see them in there. I know I'm close, guys, just so y'all can see this thing. But if I was really doing this, I'd be like 70 feet away, 80 feet away. But I'm just going to swim this thing. Nope, none came out that time. But if there's a good fish in there, and he's eating brim or crawfish, dude's going to be interested. Look, there he goes back. He's going back in there. Big boy. Big boy going back. Might need to throw the spoon at him. What I need to do? Throw the old spoon. See if he wants to eat. Jimmy's a jig video. Quit talking about the spoon. All right, guys, appreciate it. Let's go to the Faith Juice segment.
What's up, guys? Here we are on the Faith Juice segment. Of course, once again, I forgot to do it on the water, which typically happens. We'll have to make this one a little short. Got my little guy. He's out here practicing his reeling right now, okay? But, guys, just one thing. I know a couple weeks ago, I think with me, maybe about a month ago, a couple weeks ago, I don't know, I was kind of getting anger fast. I was kind of, it wasn't like typical me. It was just like little things. I was just getting mad or upset at just little things that would like push my buttons or whatever. And so one thing I had to go back to remember, and something I had to pray about, just because I was just getting mad about some little stuff. Stuff I could not control. He just whacked me with the fishing pole. What's up, buddy? You want to sit right there? Okay, time out, guys. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there you go. He's sitting on the edge of the trailer right now and reeling. He's practicing his reeling. Can y'all see? Yep. So, guys, but one thing I did was go back to James 1:19, like 19:20. It says, quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become anger, because anger does not produce righteousness. It's around those terms. So, just depending where you're at, depending what you got going on, just work on trying not to get angry as fast, and just try to, like, you know, just getting mad sometimes at little things that you can't control doesn't fix the problem. It just actually makes you more mad, okay? And so I'm trying to get this in real quick. He wants me to cast, okay? Here we go, let me cast real quick. All right, here we go. So I cast, he reels. He's practicing his reeling. So guys, that's where I was. Like, so what I just did, I remember that verse, prayed, and then, like, I think the last 2 weeks at least, I've not gotten mad really about anything, and my anger's been better. And I don't really get mad, but I'm just, like, you know, saying all of us has those days and those, like, periods. So just depending if you're there right now, just to share it with you, or in the upcoming, you might have something coming up here soon. Anyway, guys, appreciate it. I'm gonna get back my little man here and come back to the Fishing Coach YouTube channel.